Okay, so in this video, we're going to go over a series of exercises that are going to get you warmed up properly for lifting. We're going to start off real easy with a series of 4 exercises: the squat, the hip bridge, the plank, and the Superman. This is all for beginners, so if you're just getting started, these are ideal for you. If you have been exercising for a while, you will probably want to advance these. So, we're going to start off with 10 bodyweight squats. Assume a little bit wider than hip width position with your feet. Splay the knees out, stick your butt out, keep your chest up. Use your hands for counterbalance if you need. We're going to knock out 10 of these. After 10 of those, we're going to get down on the floor. We're going to proceed to hip bridges. We're going to lay flat, tuck our heels towards our butt, drive our hips up to the sky as hard as we can, squeeze your butt, hamstrings, and lower back at the top. We're going to knock out 10 of these. Okay, so for this next one, we're going to roll over. We're going to start with a plank. We'll be in a top push-up position. Pick your body up off the floor, pack your shoulders, squeeze your thighs, belly, butt. Pretty much everything should be flexed at this point. We're going to hold this to tolerance. So that might be 5 seconds for you starting. It might be 10. It might be 30 seconds. All right? Once you've hit tolerance, drop down. We're going to lay flat, arms out ahead of us, feet straight behind us. Pick the hands and the legs up off the floor. This is Superman position. Again, we're going to hold this to tolerance. And again, it might be 10 seconds for a beginner. It might be 30 seconds. And relax. Now, as I said in the beginning, these are for beginners. We can advance these. So let's move on. I'm going to show you how to advance them, and then we'll get into some key stretches. So let's say you're past the beginner point and you're wanting to advance those exercises. What I would suggest you doing, and staying equipment light in this, we're going to change a few of these around. We're going to make the squat become a lunge. We're going to make the bridges a little bit harder by making them single leg bridges. We're going to turn plank into push-ups, and we're going to, instead of doing Superman position, we're going to take a more active role and do end range shoulder mobility drills. So I'm going to demonstrate each one of those for you. You'll want to do 8 to 12 reps depending on your level and how tolerant you are of each of these. But lunges, you can either go forward or reverse. I prefer reverse. Just stepping back, glancing the floor with your back knee. You want to be under control this whole time. A lot of people fall into these and they end up hurting themselves. Now, once you're past the lunge, move straight into single leg bridges. Again, you start like a regular bridge. Both feet tucked towards your heels. Pinch your knees together. Extend a leg. Keep that leg extended the whole time while you squeeze the other butt cheek to get hot. Again, doing 8 to 12 reps each side. Just trying to get some blood flow, trying to get the hips active, trying to get all these muscles active for further exercise. Now we're going to roll over. We're going to bang out some push-ups. Main thing, keep the elbows in. Full range of motion, just glancing the floor, under control every single rep, body straight the entire time. Now, after you're done with those, we're going to work through end range shoulder mobility. What that means is you're going to use your shoulder blades and contract them, lifting your hands off the floor and then moving through a range of motion. So lay flat, Hands out to the side in a T formation, head down, and you're going to contract your shoulder blades, pulling your hands off the floor. Slowly and controlled, move them up over your head, and then back to starting position before putting them down. Now, you'll want to play with those to tolerance. Some people, especially those with shoulder mobility issues, have to really be careful with those. Okay, so now that we've got our blood flowing, we're going to move on to some stretches that are important to keep you injury-free. You can not only do these at the beginning of your workout, but throughout the entire workout itself in between sets. So, the first one is going to be a squat mobility drill. This is for your knees and hips. You're going to drop down into it, push out on the knees, keeping that chest high. We're going to hold this for about a 3 to 5 count, then put our hands on the floor, drive our hips in the air. We're going to stretch our hamstrings with this and our lower back. All right? And you'll want to repeat this about 3 to 5 times, nice and controlled. Now the next stretch is a windmill stretch, and the best way of thinking about this is to cock the hip off to one side, take the other hand, put it on your thigh, reach the other hand to the sky, and slide down towards the floor with the other hand. We're going to pause just for a moment. You're going to feel a huge stretch in the inner thigh and the outside oblique on the opposite side. Repeat on the other side. You might notice that you have one side tighter than the other. That is normal. You'll slowly develop that over time. Now, our next stretch is going to be a Samson stretch. A lot of people call this the world's greatest stretch. The main thing that you want to do, drop down in a kneeling position, bring the front foot forward, drive the hips forward by squeezing the butt cheek of the down leg. Pull your hands over your head, keep the chest high, don't over-exaggerate the arch of the back. Now you're going to feel a stretch in the down leg, in the front of it, in the hip flexor area. This is pulling on the psoas. It's going to help alleviate a lot of lower back issues and a lot of hip issues in lifting. And you want to hold that about 30 seconds each side, sometimes a little bit longer depending on how cold you are. Now this next stretch is called the scorpion stretch. You're going to want to lay face down. One arm will go out, the other will brace, and you're going to roll towards that long arm. So one arm out, roll towards it. You can kick the other leg over. You're stretching the shoulder complex doing this. And then of course go off to the other side. So this last stretch is going to be the cat-cow stretch. And we do this a lot to kind of get blood flow into the lower back, into the hips, and into the thighs. So what you're wanting to do is think about your breathing. You're going to move with your breathing. So you want to be breathing in nice and deep, slow and controlled, breathing out, full exhale, slow and controlled. Box your hips up, hands under your shoulders. The first thing I want you to do is breathe in, drive the belly towards the floor, and look up. And then fully exhale, collapsing the core, tucking the pelvis, arching the back, tucking your chin under. And you're going to want to repeat this about 5 to 10 times. So there you go. There's a series of exercises and stretches that you can do daily that's going to help you stay injury-free and progress in your resistance training program.